best friend and my husband might be involved with each other behind my back, and I can't shake off the suspicion despite my husband's denial. I, 31F, have a deep suspicion that there is something weird going on between my husband, 33M, and my best friend Maria, 30F. My husband feels I am just seeing things and is mad at me that I do not trust him enough. Please tell me if what is going on is just in my head, or if you also find the situation from last weekend suspicious. Maria and I have been best friends since college. She has always been very outgoing, while I am more of an introvert. Maria was always a bit promiscuous and loved drama. She had a lot of boyfriends/hookups in college. She is also very beautiful and I always felt invisible when I was around her. I have weight issues. I always felt overshadowed by her. I was always very shy and my husband was the first person I ever dated. Maria always teased me that I had only been with one guy in my life. As we have grown older, Maria is still to be in a real long-term relationship. I feel that things have reversed now, and she keeps on telling me how lucky I am to have such an ambitious and reliable husband by my side. Around 6 months ago, my husband came to me and told me that he felt Maria was trying to flirt with him. He does not like Maria but tolerates her for me. During one of the dinner parties, Maria was acting very flirty around my husband. She was just laughing extra loudly at all his jokes, complimenting his fitness, and touching him on the shoulders and arms. My husband told me that he felt uncomfortable with her behavior and asked me to talk to Maria. I was pissed off and talked to Maria. She got angry at me and said that she had known my husband for over a decade. He is like a brother to her. She felt my husband was trying to destroy our friendship because he did not like her. I felt she was genuine and let it go. Maria soon joined our gym because she wanted to take yoga classes with me. However, she spent more time in the weights room where my husband is. Again, my husband made comments about how she is always half naked in the gym and asked him to spot her. Maria complained that my husband is being rude and unhelpful to her. I again took her side and told my husband to be helpful and nice to her, as she is my best friend. My husband said he would make more effort. I slowly started seeing them getting more and more friendly and working out together. I wanted to be cool, but I felt jealous. So now to what happened last weekend. Maria invited a bunch of her friends for a birthday party at her apartment. There were 7 guests there, including my husband and I. Maria kept on pushing tequila shots on all of us. Eventually, most of us got drunk. Maria was sitting next to my husband and was being very flirty with him, but I could see my husband not reciprocating, so didn't care. Maria insisted we stay back at her place, and my husband and I slept in the guest bedroom. The other 3 guests, who were her co-workers, 1 guy and 2 girls, crashed on the sofas in the living room. I was drunk and the last thing I remember was my husband bringing me to the guest room. When I woke up in the middle of the night, I was alone in bed. I could hear some moaning noises from outside. I quickly started looking for my phone in the dark. In that process, I dropped something from the nightstand on the floor. The noises stopped and I heard a door open and close outside. I quickly got up to see where my husband was. When I reached the hallway, I saw my husband, just in his jeans with no shirt on. I asked him where he was, and he said he went to the restroom and asked if I was okay. I said yes, and he came and slept next to me. He was sweaty. I asked him where his shirt was, and he said that the heater was too high, and he felt hot. His t-shirt was on a chair next to the bed. I lay down, but I was barely able to sleep after that. I got up early and went into Maria's room and she was sleepy, alone naked. I told her we were taking off, and she got up to see us off. I kept this all to myself, and when we reached home and my husband went to take a shower, I immediately checked his phone. I could not find any messages between him and Maria. I spent the whole day thinking about it and finally confronted my husband regarding it at night. He was pretty angry at me and told me that he hates Maria and the only reason he tolerates Maria is because of me. I told him about the moaning noises, and he said he also heard the same when he went to the restroom but thought they were coming from the living room. He is still angry at me, that I can accuse him of something so horrible, and has told me that if I am really that insecure, I should cut off my friendship with Maria. He also told me that he was never going to be in the same room as Maria ever again. I have no idea what to do. On one hand, I know my husband would never cheat on me. But, it's just impossible to get the doubts out of my head. I keep on picturing my husband and Maria together in her bed. Am I the asshole to confront my husband and accuse him of cheating, just because of what I saw, and not having any real proof? How do I know what happened? If I confront Maria and accuse her, she is also going to be equally mad at me. I don't know her co-worker friends well enough to trust what they say. I just feel stupid for trying to push for friendship between my husband and Maria. Please help. Update 1. I had posted about a month ago regarding suspecting my husband and my best friend Maria sleeping together while I was drunk and passed out in another room. A lot happened during the last month, and my mental health is at its lowest due to the betrayals. However, I think I now know what happened that night. I am sorry for the long post. So, the day after my husband and I stayed at Maria's house for her birthday party, I was unable to shake the feeling that something happened between them. I am not proud, but I checked my husband's phone and all his messaging apps. I only found a brief chat between my husband and Maria on Facebook Messenger. Maria thanked my husband for coming to her birthday party and for such a great night. She sent him a photo of them hugging at the end of the night, after I was asleep. My husband told Maria that I suspected that something happened between them and asked her to talk to me. Maria told him that she would talk to me. Maria called me the next day and told me that I was crazy and she would never think of doing such a thing to me. She sounded convincing, but I just couldn't shake the gut feeling that something happened. I told her why I suspected them, and she called me crazy and that my head was making up stuff that did not exist. I also mentioned that I saw her photo with my husband after I was asleep and she should have kept her distance from him. I decided to distance myself from her, as I no longer trusted her as a friend. We also changed the times we went to the gym so that we don't run into her. After a week or so, she messaged my husband on Facebook Messenger that they should tell me the whole truth. My husband kept on asking her what she was talking about, but she kept on telling him that she felt guilty. My husband came to me and told me that Maria is sending messages to him and he is not sure what she is inferring. He kept on assuring me that nothing happened between them that night. I told him that I read their secret chats on Facebook Messenger. He gaslighted me, calling me insecure and that Maria was trying to play with my head. I finally decided to go to Maria's house and ask her what was going on. Maria initially kept on saying that she did not want to talk about it. However, finally, she broke down and told me what happened. She told me that during the night of the birthday party, my husband kept on staring at her. After they realized I was too drunk, he took me to the bedroom and again went back to the living room. At his point, he was sitting next to Maria and kept on touching her legs playfully. Maria was also very drunk and they decided to call it a night in 30 minutes. Maria said that my husband followed her to her room and he started undressing her and they were intimate together. She told me that she was too drunk to consent to anything and felt like he SA her. She kept quiet to keep peace, but it was bugging her from inside. I asked her if she was sure she was too drunk that night, and she said that although she was drunk she remembers all the details. I confronted my husband, but he still kept on telling me that what he was telling was the truth, and Maria never liked him and was playing me for a fool. He was so angry at me that he left the house and is currently living in a hotel nearby. He keeps on calling me and asking me to trust him, but I don't know how I can trust him now. I never expected him to do such a thing. Maria has also been trying to talk to me and asking me to be there to support her. However, I do not know if I can look at either one of them. I am just going to try and cope with the situation and plan to go and live with my parents for a few days until my husband and I agree about our future. I know you all thought I was crazy in the previous post, but I knew in my gut that something was wrong, and never expected my life to suddenly come to this point. Update 2. I posted about my husband and my best friend Maria having an affair. Although I did not have any solid proof that anything happened, my friend came clean and told me that my husband ate her while she was drunk. I initially did not know who to believe and thought my friend was telling the truth. My husband was upset that I did not trust him and left the house to stay at a hotel. After posting the update, I read the comments until 4 a.m. and cried uncontrollably. I let my insecurities and crazy trust Maria when it was clear that my husband was telling the truth. Sorry for the long post. You helped me so much and might have saved my life. For the few people who send me vile messages, I am mentally unstable, but that does not mean I need to end my life. I was not always insecure. When I met my husband a decade ago, we were both overweight. He never cared about my weight as long as I was happy. A year before we married, I had an idea where we lose weight before our wedding date. He took his fitness seriously and lost 40 pounds that year, while I was not disciplined and did not lose any. Our wedding photo looks like Ryan Reynolds is marrying Princess Fiona from Shrek. This made me insecure about my weight. It did not help that my mom and Maria kept on telling me that I needed to lose weight, or else he would leave me for someone more beautiful. The question in my mind was not if he would leave me, but when. He knows my struggles and has always been supportive and loving towards me. I went to meet him in the morning, and I have never seen him so broken. I started apologizing and crying and he was trying to calm me down for almost an hour. I told him I trusted him completely and apologized that I did not see it sooner. He just looked stone-faced. He said he knew I would trust him eventually, but he is worried about Maria. He kept checking his social media because he was scared she might post about it. He said he could not imagine what his parents, friends, and co-workers would think if they saw the accusations. He told me that we need to talk to Maria to not spread such lies. I told him in detail what Maria told me, and he told me what happened that night. He said that I fell asleep on his lap around 1:30 a.m. He woke me up and took me to the bedroom. He came out to say goodbye to everyone, but the party was already dying. My husband was not drunk. He generally never drinks more than 1 to 2 drinks ever, but Maria and her friends were very drunk. Maria wanted to take some final pictures and went to everyone and made silly poses. That was the photo she sent to my husband. She asked my husband if he could come with her to the bedroom to get some blankets and pillows for others. My husband told her he needed to check on me, and the other male co-worker volunteered to go with her and get stuff. My husband then came to the room and slept. He woke up 2 hours later and went to the restroom. He confirmed that he heard the moaning noises, but they had stopped when he came out of the restroom. We decided to talk to Maria and I invited her to our house on Saturday evening. She was shocked to see my husband with me in the house. My husband told her that she knew what she was saying was wrong and he still had the messages where she thanked him the next day. Maria got defensive and started telling me that she blacked out that night, but later slowly started to put together what happened that night since she was naked when she woke up. She asked me why she would sleep naked without locking the room door when her coworkers were in the next room. She said that she remembers my husband coming to her room and having sex with her, while she was extremely drunk. My husband told Maria that none of this happened, and she kept on insisting that she clearly remembered him naked and having sex with her. He told her, if that was true, tell me how big his penis was. She was taken aback and shouted to him, just because it was huge does not mean I enjoyed the sex, and that she was extremely drunk. I asked Maria if she was sure and she said she would never forget it. The thing is, my husband is noticeably smaller than average in that area. I am not complaining as he always gets the job done, but I knew Maria was full of shit. A screaming match began between Maria and me, and I told her she was full of shit and to get out of my house. I told her that if she accused my husband, I would stand by him and tell everyone I was in the next room, and none of this happened. Maria was crying at this moment and told me to enjoy my life with a rapist. I hugged my husband, but he still looked void of any emotions. He told me not to freak out, but he had planned to visit his parents' house to reset his head before I talked to him. I wanted to be with him, but he insisted he wanted to be alone for a week and will be back on Saturday. He also called my mom to come to our house, so I am not alone. We told her what happened, and she was very angry at me. I have been talking to him all week on phone, and he plans to return tomorrow. I feel lucky and undeserving of such a good husband and cannot believe I was so close to losing him. I have not heard from Maria, but at this point, our friendship is over. Again, thanks to everyone who sent well-meaning messages to me all through the week. I truly appreciate it. I have signed up for therapy this week and hopefully will be able to be a better wife to my husband forever. Update 3. My husband left the house to be with his parents the day after I wrote the post. I became really paranoid after reading all the comments that he may never come back. He assured me that he will be back soon, but I just became paranoid and went there. We had a lot of heart-to-heart discussions, and he told me how hurt he was that I chose to listen to Maria instead of backing him up. I told him how I made a terrible mistake and I would never doubt him again. We came back home after a week. After coming home, my husband and I still kept on talking about the incident. Maria went no contact with us for a week, and then suddenly started calling me and messaging me if she could meet me. I had decided to cut her off from our lives. However, my husband told me that there is a very high chance that her coworker might have sired her and she did not remember things correctly. We discussed it, but my husband insisted that I should at least hear her side before deciding to break friendship with her. He also told me that she was not welcome in our house anymore and he will never forgive her. He suggested that I should meet her in a public place. I agreed and called Maria to meet at a coffee shop one evening. Maria cried a lot and apologized to me for the whole thing. She said that she was very drunk by the end of the night. She remembered me passing out on sofa and my husband taking me to the room. She also remembered asking my husband for help with getting some stuff from the bedroom. She said that she woke up naked and could feel she had sex. She has memories of my husband having sex with her. However, after our fight, she started thinking if they were just drunk and false memories. The only other guy in the house was her coworker. She confronted him and he told her the truth what happened. According to him, he came to her bedroom to get the pillows and bedding. Maria kissed him and they made out. After everyone went to sleep, her coworker went back to her room after an hour and had sex. Her coworker told her that she asked him to come to her room after everyone is asleep and that is why he went back. He also told her that she was awake when he went to her room. She was the one who initiated everything. Maria did not say anything to him in the morning or talk about it afterwards. He felt that Maria wanted to just drunk and hook up, was uncomfortable talking about it later. Maria was very apologetic and told me that she was very drunk, and her mind just convinced her that my husband was with her that night. I asked Maria if she likes my husband and if she really meant to kiss my husband that night. She told me that she would never do that to me. She told me that she felt so guilty about the whole thing and also messaged my husband to confess everything to me. She says that if she liked my husband, why would she ask him to confess everything to me instead of just carrying on with the affair secretly? She said that she likes my husband as a friend but would never dare to do anything that would cause me pain. I feel her story makes sense. I told my husband about what happened. He also felt had it made sense that it was the coworker who went to her room that night, and as he was the same height and build as my husband, she might have constructed the false memories in her mind. He told me that I could be friends with Maria as it was my choice, but he can never forget the hell she put him through for those 2 weeks, that almost cost us our marriage. He said that he forgives Maria but will never forget what she did. Maria called him on phone to apologize, and he told her he forgives her. However, he also told me that he will never interact with Maria without me being present. Maria started dating the coworker after the incident for a few months, but he cheated on her and now Maria is single again. I was her shoulder to cry on after she broke up with him and I felt that brought us back closer. She is so beautiful but has the worst luck with men. I signed up for therapy myself and am really working on my low self-esteem and anxiety issues. I have also lost a lot of weight in the last 3 months, and it has helped my mental health tremendously. I still have a long way to go, but my husband's unconditional love for me does give me confidence that I must be doing something right. I also felt bad commenting about my husband's private parts in the last post. All I can say is he is more than enough for me, and I love him a lot and would never change anything about him. The silver lining is I know Maria is a blabbermouth and must have told all my friends about it. My husband is a very handsome man, and I was always worried about my friends hitting on him. However, I feel now they will be less keen to flirt with him. Husband laughed off my painful breastfeeding struggles and neglected to help with our newborn, so I turned off the Wi-Fi during his online game. My husband, Jake, 30M, and I, 27F, recently welcomed our first baby, Emma, who is now 3 months old. As most new parents know, it's been a challenging time, filled with sleepless nights and endless diaper changes. I'm on maternity leave, so I'm home with Emma all day, but I still need help from Jake, especially during the night. Jake works from home and is a huge gamer. He spends most of his free time playing online games with his friends. I've tried to be understanding and give him his space, but it's been hard when he refuses to help with Emma at night. I've asked him multiple times to take turns getting up with her, but he always says he's too tired or that he has an important game. Breastfeeding has been particularly difficult. Emma often struggles to latch properly, leading to painful and sometimes cracked nipples. I've had mastitis twice already, which leaves me feeling feverish and in intense pain. Despite seeing me in pain, Jake just laughs it off, finding it amusing. He never offers to help during these moments, even though I'm visibly struggling and desperate for support. One night, after I'd been up with Emma for the third time and Jake was still glued to his computer, I'd had enough. I went into his office and asked him to take over so I could get some sleep. He waved me off, saying he was in the middle of a game and that I should just handle it. He added, "You're on maternity leave and free all day while I have to work, so I need time to relax. You're just sitting around doing nothing all day anyway." I was exhausted and on the verge of tears. I needed his help, but he was completely dismissive. In a moment of frustration and desperation, I walked over to the router and turned off the Wi-Fi. That's when Jake completely lost it. He stormed out of his office, screaming at me. Apparently, he and his friends were in some sort of online tournament, and they were about to win when I unplugged the Wi-Fi. He called me selfish, irresponsible, and accused me of sabotaging his one form of relaxation. He went on to say that I had no right to interfere with his me time and that I should have just waited until he was done. I calmly explained that I needed his help and that our baby was more important than his game. He refused to listen and continued to berate me, adding that I haven't even been having sex with him and that we've only had sex 4 times since Emma was born. He accused me of wanting to take everything away from him while doing nothing all day and sitting at home on my ass. Jake never helps during the day either, even after he finishes work at 5 p.m. I don't expect him to help during work hours, but once he's off, he should be stepping up as a parent. Instead, he goes straight to his games, leaving me to handle everything alone. Since then, he's been sulking around the house, barely speaking to me. To make matters worse, his friends have been sending me nasty messages, calling me a crazy wife and saying I'm unreasonable. One of them even suggested that Jake should leave me because I'm too demanding. I feel like I'm losing my mind here, just trying to get a bit of support. I'm exhausted, and all I wanted was for Jake to step up and be a parent too. Instead, I'm being painted as the villain for wanting help with our newborn. AITA? Jake works hard, and I appreciate him, but his indifference to my struggles makes me feel so isolated. I spend my days and nights in tears, wondering if I'm failing as a mother and a wife. All I've wanted is for us to share the responsibilities of parenting, especially during those late-night feedings and diaper changes that leave me feeling so drained. I've been struggling with feelings of sadness and guilt, wondering if I'm failing as a mother and a wife. It's not about controlling his downtime, it's about needing his support during this incredibly tough time. I wish you could understand the depth of loneliness and frustration I've been feeling. Your words about me being selfish and immature hit hard because I've been questioning myself constantly. I never wanted to play the victim or make Jake out to be the bad guy. All I wanted was for us to work together as a team, like we promised each other when we decided to start a family. I'm sorry if my actions hurt anyone, including Jake and his friends. I was overwhelmed and at my breaking point. I'm trapped in a cycle of guilt, feeling like everything is my fault. I never wanted to hurt anyone, I just don't know how to cope anymore. I'm not trying to be selfish, I'm just trying to survive. Update 1. First, I want to say that I initially posted just to find out if I was wrong for sabotaging my husband's tournament. I ended up sharing a lot of context, and I never expected to receive such an outpouring of advice on other issues. But oh my god, your responses have been the best thing that's happened to me lately. Your words have had a profound impact on me. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to all the mamas, dads, and everyone who offered their wonderful advice and educated me on postpartum depression, PPD. After reading everything, I immediately booked an appointment for the next day, and it turns out I do have PPD. I'll be starting therapy soon, and my doctor has also suggested joining a support group. I'm still considering it. I never thought I'd be saying this to random strangers, but I love you all so much. You've turned my life around. Thank you so much to everyone who informed me about tongue ties. I went to see a doctor for this as well, and it turns out my baby has a minor, unnoticeable tongue tie that was causing all the latching issues. I've scheduled an appointment later this week to get it corrected. Without your advice, I would have never known, and it would have continued to be a struggle. Yesterday, I was feeling so depressed, crying all day. But today, everything feels so much better. Each one of your comments made a difference. I've read almost all of your advice. Though I couldn't reply to every comment, I spent a lot of time reading and each one touched my heart deeply. Again, thank you so much, everyone. You are incredible. To everyone who'd me with their advice and resources like books, other subreddits, and websites, I am eternally grateful. I promise I'll reply whenever I get a chance. I saved a lot of comments because the advice was so invaluable. I'm amazed that so many people took the time to give me and my baby detailed, thoughtful replies. I'll try to respond to you guys whenever I can. I hope you all understand. About the sex thing, thank you to everyone who made me aware that this isn't normal. I had been feeling guilty this whole time, thinking it's already been 6 weeks and wondering why I don't want to have sex. Jake was gaslighting me into believing that my sex drive should be normal after 6 weeks and guilting me for not wanting to have sex. Each of the 4 times we did, I felt very uncomfortable, but I thought maybe it was just me. Now that everyone has shared how long their partners waited and husbands have told me how long they waited for their wives to be comfortable, it made me realize how much I've been pressured unfairly. Also, there were a few gamer people who trolled me heavily for what I did, but most of the gamer parents, especially gamer dads, came forward and shared how wonderful they are as parents and how gaming comes after their child. The first hour after I posted this, I was harassed badly, especially by this one person. His account has been deleted by the moderators now. But after that horrific hour, most people were so supportive and nice. I was thinking of deleting my post after all the backlash from some gamers and a lot of men agreeing with Jake, saying that just because I am on maternity leave, I do nothing all day and shouldn't expect Jake to help because he is working and I am being unreasonable for wanting him to help out more. But thank God I didn't delete it. It would have been the worst mistake. Trust me, you guys, it's not just about the advice but the emotional support you gave me in a day, sitting miles away from me. My husband couldn't even give that in 3 months, being under the same roof as me. This made me feel so much better, realizing how much I needed this support. Again, thank you so much, everyone. I still cry a lot and feel an overwhelming sense of guilt, like a heavy weight pressing down on my heart. There are moments when I feel like I'm failing as a mother and a wife, and the pain of those thoughts is unbearable. But, thanks to all of you, I feel so much better than before. Your words have been like a lifeline, pulling me out of the darkest depths of despair. Every comment, every message, has been a reminder that I'm not alone in this struggle. I can't describe the relief of knowing that there are people who understand and care. It's like a warm embrace that I desperately needed, and for that, I am very grateful. You've given me the strength to keep going, to fight for myself and my baby, and for that, I will never be able to thank you enough. Answering some questions asked a lot. We dated for 1 year and 5 months before getting married and have been married for about 1 year and 4 months. So in total about 2 years 9 months. Yes, it was planned and actually his idea. I wanted to wait at least 1 year after getting married, but he made everything sound so good, like we would be such great parents, and how we would do stuff together, and how happy everything would be. I didn't need much convincing. I got very excited hearing all this and had butterflies in my stomach. But now that I think of it, while we were dating, I remember him saying multiple times that it's his goal to get married and have a kid before turning 30. Emma was born a month before he turned 30, so maybe he as just trying to achieve his goal. A lot of people, mostly men, are commenting that what they believe happened is that we dated for a few months, got pregnant and had to marry in haste all within less than 1 year, and that's the reason he is being like this. According to them, I forced him into all this because I am a bitch who baby trapped him and he never wanted to have a kid, but this is far from truth. I work at a well-known USA-based company that offers 16 weeks of paid maternity leave. Maternity leave can be extended up to 22 weeks, but those additional weeks will be unpaid. I do make a little more money than he does annually, but I also have longer working hours. He usually works from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., with an hour break in between, so about 6 hours of actual work. No, he wasn't into gaming that much before. It was like 3 to 4 hours a day. After the baby came, he didn't game much for about a week, but after that, oh my god, he was gaming 24/7, even during meals and work breaks. Once, I caught him working on the laptop during his work hours and gaming with a free hand. He probably is cutting a lot on sleep just to game. It would easily be 10+ hours of gaming daily. No, he very rarely does. I do all the chores like laundry, dishes, vacuuming. Once, I threatened him that he must at least do his own dishes because I wouldn't do it anymore, and after that, he got a huge stack of disposable plates, spoons, glasses, etc. Honestly, I use those too from his stock sometimes because I'm just so exhausted. I do most of the cooking. He'll boil eggs at the most, and that too like 2 to 3 times a week. About 3 weeks ago, I was really mad at him because I had asked him to change Emma's diapers if she pooped while I was at my gynecologist for a follow-up. He didn't change Emma's diapers, so I didn't make food for him for 3 days. He ordered DoorDash for all the meals. That's why even though a lot of people are asking me to leave him with Emma for 8 hours, I don't know in what condition I'll find my baby when I come back. I was only gone for an hour and a half, and I came home to her crying and soiled while my husband had his headphones on. He claimed he didn't hear the crying. God knows how long my baby had been crying. I felt awful that night and cried myself to sleep, thinking did she start crying as soon as I left and cry for the whole hour and a half? Also, I have no idea what I will do after I resume my job, and I barely have 10 weeks to figure everything out. I haven't thought what to do about Jake as of now, but I'll let you know. A lot of people have suggested that I go to my parents' house or call my mill, but it would create a huge scene if I did. My parents, especially my dad, are very protective of me since I'm an only child. If he knew how Jake has been treating me and our daughter, he would take me home immediately and get me divorced, and Jake would be in serious trouble. He doesn't like Jake already. And if my male cousins found out, I can't even explain what would happen to him. They are extremely protective of me as well. It's not that I don't want to be with my family or get their help, but I would have to explain the reason, and I don't want to do this to Jake just yet. Many people have mentioned that Jake might have PPD too because it's unusual for him to change all of a sudden like this. I still want to hold on to hope after reading all those comments about how therapy changed their husbands, and even some dads coming forward telling me how they used to be like Jake and now they have changed. However, 2 to 3 dads also DM'd me, saying they are like Jake and told me to run as far as I can. One of them said he ended up beating his 6-month-old baby when he was crying, and another said he shook his baby. Oh my god, this terrified me. Jake is behaving awfully, but I think he would never do something like that. But after reading all this, I don't think I can leave Emma alone with him. I'll try to keep you all updated on how things progress. Sending love and gratitude to each and every one of you. Even if Jake decides to get therapy and changes, my dad will never let me try again with him. There's no way my family will allow Jake back into my life once they know everything. It hurts every day when I have to hold back my tears while talking to my mom, dad, and other family members. It hurts to lie to my parents, to pretend that everything is perfect when I'm actually falling apart. Sometimes I break down while on calls, and I have to cut the conversation short, lying that Emma woke up again just so they don't hear me crying. You don't know how much I want to tell them, how much I want their support, but I'm terrified of making a decision where there's no coming back from in such haste. I fear making a decision in haste that leaves no room for redemption or reconciliation. Update 2. I know this is a very early update, it's only been 5 hours since I posted my last update, but they have been enough to knock some sense into me. You guys are right. I am being an asshole here and not prioritizing my baby, so I need to get out of here ASAP. Oh my god, I read the comments, and I am overwhelmed. I've been crying hysterically again. Jake even shouted from the other room, asking if I could keep it down. You're right, he won't change, he is so insensitive. Realizing how foolish I've been has hit me hard. You all made me see how stupid I am for not leaving Jake and going to my parents, and how I am putting both Emmas and my lives in danger. The thing that moved me the most was when you told me to imagine if it was Emma being treated like this. Would I want her to keep quiet or tell me what's happening with her? That hit me so hard. I can't bear the thought of her going through what I'm going through. I've decided to talk to my family tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I need some time to think about what and how much to say to them so the worst doesn't happen, and my family doesn't end up in jail. They love me a lot and have been protective of me since I was a kid. I also need to find and upload all the recordings from the CCTV cameras to my laptop, which will help me with custody if we end up getting divorced. I need time to figure out the recordings and CCTV stuff, so I'll probably call someone for help. I'm thinking of doing this discreetly when Jake is sleeping because I am scared he might completely lose it. I know he probably won't even notice since he mostly sleeps between gaming and doesn't come out of the room. But then again, I have been an idiot about so much stuff already, so let me know if I should do it another way. Please, if there are steps other than the recordings and important documents I should take before telling my family and leaving, let me know, because I know once I leave I won't be coming back. I know I don't reply often, but I read your comments, and I promise I'll try to reply when things are better here. But please, I only have a little time and don't want to mess this up. You guys have scared the hell out of me with the possibilities of what could happen. You all are saying Jake will kill the baby and I'll end up doing a funeral for my baby. Please don't say stuff like that. That's just a very cruel and mean thing to say. I have already been so depressed and crying, and now it feels like I am drowning again. Please, please, please stop saying that I'll end up with a dead baby. It's very, very insensitive, even if you are saying this just so I would ask for help and leave Jake. Secondly, I know you must be thinking, why does this woman cry a lot? She is always crying, and she is pathetic, but I don't know what's happening to me. All I do is cry, and I wasn't like this before. I cried very little before giving birth, to be honest. I am just very overwhelmed. And to those who are saying bad things about my dad, calling him a psycho control freak with anger issues, trust me, he is nothing like that. He is actually a very calm person, but he is very close to me and extremely protective. Since I was little, he gets protective even when someone raises their voice at me. He is not a bad person, he just cares deeply about me. Thank you all for your support and advice. You've opened my eyes, and I'm determined to make things better for Emma and me. P.S. Emma just woke up and now she is just staring at me with her big blue eyes, and she isn't even crying. Maybe she is trying to say something, I don't know. Even this is making me break down in tears. I am back from where I began, I'm going crazy. I can't believe looking at her tiny hands, her little fingers gripping mine, that I was being such a blindfolded, idiotic bitch who was going to jeopardize my baby's life. The guilt and shame are overwhelming, and I feel like the worst mother in the world. Next story. Parents betrayed me, stepbrother ruined my life, but I found love and happiness through resilience and therapy, now facing awkward reunion. So I lost my mom when I was 12 to breast cancer. So that just left me and my dad. It was a tough time, but we got through it together. When I was 14, Dad met and married my stepmom Ashley, who brought with her my stepbrother Mark, 14, and stepsister Emily, 12. I got along with Ashley and Emily really well, but Mark, not so much so. He and I were always getting into arguments and fights. I was always told by my dad to give Mark a break because he's been the man of his house for a while. So this is all new. Like somehow it wasn't new to me? Anyways, when I was 15, I met a girl at school, Lisa, and we started dating. As much as one can date at 15. However, Mark apparently had a crush on her and was mad that I asked her out. He started a fight over it, in which my dad had to intervene once again. And somehow I again was made to be the bad guy. One day after my 16th birthday, my stepmom was putting away my laundry and started yelling. Which was awkward because my girlfriend Lisa was there. We all ran thinking the worst. When we got to my room, my stepmom was holding several pairs of my sister's underwear, yelling at me why they are in my drawer. I had no answer as I'd never seen them before. Of course no one believed me. No matter how much protesting I did. Then Mark piped up saying he always caught me staring at his sister, thought it was creepy, and caught me once saying I wish I could marry her. Obviously lying, but that was all it took. Lisa slapped me and called me a perv and told me we were done and walked out. My dad grabbed me by the arm and threw me out of the house. Yelling at me that he wasn't gonna put his daughter at risk from a perv. Not the word he used, but you get it. I banged on the door to be let in, crying and telling them it was all lies told by Mark. My dad, apparently had enough. I heard the locks. He opened the door and shoved me to the ground and told me to get lost. I told him I had nowhere to go and he said that wasn't his problem, then closed the door. I found myself on the streets, with nothing to my name. No place to go. I tried calling my dad's parents, but he had already called them and they told me they won't help a perv. My mom's parents passed away before I was born. Well, I lived on the streets for 2 years, doing what I had to in order to survive. No kid should have had to do what I had to do, in order to just live, just saying. There were some really dark days. Lots of therapy later in life helped me with this. Shortly after I turned 18, I found a job working at a boxing gym, states away from where I began this horrible journey. I worked there for years. Learned the sport, never gonna beat Mike Tyson, but was good at the sport, which helped me with my hate and anger. Then one day met a new girl, May, 20F, at the cafe down the street from the gym. At this point I was 35, I know, huge age gap, but we just clicked. I don't believe in fate, or soulmates or any of that stuff like that, but if there is such a thing, we had it. Don't know how else to put it. We dated for 2 years and then got married. Her dad was an electrician and hired me on afterwards. I think mostly to know I would be able to support his daughter and know I was doing right by her, but also in case he needed to keep me in check. He never said this, but as a dad, I get it now. Well, 15 years later we are still together with 4 beautiful daughters. I just passed my master's license as an electrician. Thanks to my wife for pushing me to get my GED. She has been my rock, my cheerleader, my overall support through this all, and I can't tell her enough how much she changed my life and how much I love her. Anyways, sorry for the tangent. So just this last weekend, I received an email from my stepsister. Not sure how she got my email address, but I know it isn't hard via the internet, not like I've been hiding. Mind you, I'm now pushing 53, so it's been 30 plus years since I've heard from any of them. It was a long email. Not gonna give you all of it, but the meat of it is, they now know what really happened. Mark, I guess, was busy drinking with his buddies on Friday and somehow my name was mentioned. Mark, I guess, started bragging how he set me up and took my girl. Yup, Mark and Lisa got together married, all those years ago. They were all laughing hoping I died on the streets, bunch of rude and vile stuff. Guess he forgot Lisa was there and she heard it all. So she called my stepsister to let her know, and so Emily spent all weekend trying to find me. Like I said, the email was long. Short of it is, they want to apologize face to face, although it was already said in the email multiple times, and want to make up for lost time. I'm however indifferent to the idea. Like, I have no ill feelings towards her, she obviously was young and had no real say in the matter. But with lots and lots of therapy, I learned to let go of that hate and anger and to let go of them. As well, with all the love I receive from my wife, kids and in-laws, it's all I really need. I'm of the idea of just deleting the email and moving on like nothing happened. My wife thinks I should at least respond back, even if to say something snarky like, "Thanks for finally believing me, only took over 30 years. Did I mention my wife has a mean/petty streak to her? Lol. She's awesome. Guess not asking for advice, just wanted to share my story. There is a boxing quote that I have up in my house that reminds me every day. To see a man beaten not by a better man, but by himself is a tragedy. Update 1. First, I want to thank everyone for their kind words and advice. I wasn't looking for advice, just wanted a place to share my story. To those that gave me credit for overcoming everything, thank you. However, the wife thinks she deserves most of it, lol. And in all honesty, she does. To those that think this is fake. It's Reddit, I get it, it is what it is. Most things have to be taken with a grain of salt. I shared my story, I can't make you believe me. But that's okay, if my story resonates and helps others know they can survive, then I'm happy with that, and that's all that matters. Okay, for the update. Gonna post most of the original email as a lot of you have requested. Kept out some deep personal info, but majority of it is there. Might have to break it up due to character limit. Plus a response with the help of my wife. And also the help of others who made suggestions, which is good because I'm not that great at putting down in words how I feel without coming off looking dumb. She was able to make me sound less dumb. Lol, taking the family to the lake for the weekend to recharge and leave this all behind me. Update 2. Hey everyone, it's been a hot minute since I've stopped in and updated you all. First, want to thank everyone who's still been reaching out and commenting on my post. So just have a final update for you all. I know a lot of you worried about my former family reaching out after I asked them to basically let me live my life in peace. But thankfully Al has been quiet. I think my response made it clear they weren't family anymore and decided to accept it. Outside of that, everything has been good. Actually more than good. Found out we are having a baby boy. Although this wasn't planned, we are super excited, as are the girls. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit nervous. I think my wife can tell, she just keeps telling me I'm a great dad and not to worry. And yeah, after this one, we are done and I'll be going in for the snip. In the words of Surgeon Murtaugh, I'm too old for this SHT, just wanted to leave you guys with a little dad advice. Daughter threw a forbidden party and her actions led to my youngest daughter being assaulted by 4 men, leaving me in tears. To start off everything, I'm a widow and have 3 children, but in this post I'll be focused on my 2 youngest daughters, Leah, F14, and Maya, F18. Leah was raped by 4 men back in December. How this incident accrued was Maya threw a party while I was working the night shift and 4 of the boys that were attendants at this party assaulted Leah. It's been devastating to say the least. Leah has lost all of her spark and quit cheer. Plus on top of it, she opted out of her freshman year by just continuing to do courses online. She doesn't sleep in her room anymore but with me and just wears my late husband's hoodies all day, and I feel so helpless as a mother because I don't know how I can help her. Throughout the investigation a lot of things came out regarding Maya's part in this. She did not set up her little sister, however I feel like she severely neglected her, and all of this could have been avoided if she just followed my rules. I never approved a party, I left in her charge of watching Leah, and before you guys say well you're her mother, it's not her job to watch your kid, but the thing is, it was her job. I pay her really well to look after her sister while I work nights. It's been an agreement we had for years. Leah is not special needs in any way. The only thing I asked of Maya is that she makes sure her sister does her homework and gets to bed at a reasonable time. The men that assaulted Leah, Maya invited herself. She knew them personally and knew they had affiliates to gangs and did not care. Instead, what I found out in this investigation, she tried to put Leah with one of these boys and Leah was not interested. This boy was harassing Leah all night, trying to get her to kiss him. Then Leah had enough and went to her room, and the moment Maya left the house to go to McDonald's, that same boy and his friends went up to my daughter's room and raped her. The worst part about this to me is that people that were at the party heard her yelling and did not do anything but just assumed a couple was arguing upstairs. We didn't know what happened until the next morning when the party was over. Having her do a rape kit was traumatizing for her and probably the worst moment as a parent for me. Then couple weeks later she tested positive for a curable STD. My baby has been so broken ever since, even though they did get those boys and all 4 pleaded guilty because they had evidence on their phone. But it's still so extremely hard for Leah right now. Maya on the other hand has been remorseful and Leah has no animosity towards her and doesn't blame her, still loves her sister. But I don't know why for me I'm so angry at Maya and I've been really trying to forgive her but I can't as of now. I can't even look at her without not wanting to lash out. Her prom is next weekend and I honestly couldn't care less. She tries to have conversations with me, but it's hard for me to show any interest in them. I don't hate my daughter, I still love her. But I just have strong dislike for her right now. I've been reading self-help books trying to learn how to address this properly. I feel like I can't open up to anyone about this in life. I guess this may be cry for help as a mother. Edit, thank you for all the feedback. The most repetitive question I'm seeing is if Maya still watches Leah? The answer is hell no. I don't trust her anymore and it might take years to get it back. I'm on a leave of absence currently. Also, Leah is not therapy as of right now. She expressed to me she's not ready for that. I think after the sentencing she might be open to it. Maya is also in therapy but skips a lot of appointments and I'm in therapy too, and it's been helping me remain calm throughout this situation and not want to lash out at Maya. But the number one advice that I'm seeing in here that I'm strongly considering is sending Maya to my parents' house for a while. Get some space from her. Sorry, quick second edit. For the ones asking if Maya is in a gang, to my knowledge she isn't. The most I have ever caught her doing was smoking some pot and vaping. I also don't want to think Maya would ever intentionally set up her sister to be brutally assaulted. So I'm leaning towards Maya genuinely was being plain neglectful that night. Also, I feel like it would have came up in the investigation if she intentionally set up Leah. Also, the boy Maya was trying to set Leah up with was 17 at the time. He's 18 now and the other 3 were grown men. Update 1. To put it quite simply, Maya was arrested the night of Leah's attack. She was charged with felony child endangerment and 2 misdemeanors. The judge was very nice to her and made her pay a $2,000 fine, 60 hours of community service and 3 years probation. Plus I took her car, but after this update, I maybe should have given her a harsher punishment. But back to the update. TLDR at the bottom. On Thursday afternoon, me and Maya got into a fight. The dispute happened because Leah came to me virtually upset and on the verge of tears. Because 5 people messaged her that day, expressing condolences about her attack. Leah has been very clear she doesn't want anyone that she knows to know that she was the victim of the attack. Upon further investigation, it turns out Maya told a group chat of 27 people that Leah was the victim. Leah vocalized to me how humiliated she feels and that she can't ever go back to school next year. I of course then go confront Maya about it. She kept saying I was overacting and that Leah was being dramatic. I tried to reason with her to see how she hurt her sister, and she did not see the issue. She stopped me off mid-lecture from me and said, "Jesus Christ, Mom, you need to let her deal with this shit instead of always rushing to her defense. Leah is not different from other women in the world that deal with rape, at least they don't make it their entire personality like she does. Also, she's fine." I literally overheard her talk to a boy on the phone last night. It just clicked for me at that moment that she was not actually remorseful at all and that I just witnessed her mask slip. I just responded with "pack your shit up," and that she will be staying with my parents until I allow her back. That's exactly what she did. But the next morning, I got a text from Maya to meet her at her therapist appointment that was later that day. Looking back, I wish I had never gone because her therapist majority of the visit only saw her POV, but at the start of the appointment, it opened up with Maya apologizing and explaining her thought process of why she told her friends, and it was because she was venting. Plus she didn't think of it as a big deal because it's public case that was on the news and Leah seems fine these days. Leah is listed as a Jane Doe and not named nowhere, but I digress. We then get into the nitty-gritty of it all. Maya then tells me in front of the therapist that she feels emotionally neglected by me and that I never seemed to care about her trauma when it came to the situation. Which is for her is having to stay in jail for a weekend and losing one of her friends, which is one of Leah's literal rapists. I wish I can say I'm joking, but I'm dead serious. We were talking about that for the first 30 minutes. Her therapist was guilt-tripping me for not being more emotionally there for Maya and that I should try to see as her mom since their father is no longer with us. But call me an awful parent, but I don't want to be emotionally there for Maya if it involves me having to help her mourn the friendship of the person that ruined her sister's life. The therapist was on one, especially since she kept referring to what happened to Leah as an accident, or that Leah seems happier these days because that's what Maya has been telling her, when Leah is quite literally high off antidepressants and still scores extremely low on the mental health evaluation. But and only just had an outburst. Feel free to skip over the next paragraph, because there is a massive trigger warning. I get very graphic here. But I'm just reiterating what I said. What I said to both Maya and her therapist was, I think it's kinda disgusting that the two of you are refusing to acknowledge Leah's trauma in this and keep referring to it as an accident. You spent a weekend in jail, while your sister was in the hospital suffering from something your friend did to her. Ironically enough, if you ever listen to Leah, she has said that friend of yours was the most violent towards her during the attack and was the catalyst for the majority of injuries she sustained, including strangling her. So for you guys to sit here and berate me for not caring that you lost your friend because of something terrible your friend did to your sister is absolutely disgusting. My biggest regret right now is helping you obtain a lawyer. I should have let you rot in that cell and let you figure it out yourself. Maya started sobbing in the office at this point and saying it wasn't fair that I blamed her for what happened to Leah. She told me the only thing she was trying to do was have Leah come out of her shell because she kept hovering next to her at the party. The therapist then interjects and asks Maya how did Leah respond to her when she apologized. Maya in such a defensive manner says, "Apologize for what? I didn't rape her." Even the therapist was shocked when she said that, and at that point, I heard enough and stood up, threw my hands up, and left. I haven't spoken to Maya since then, and this was Friday afternoon. Maya has been texting me and calling me begging to come home so she can apologize to both me and Leah. But I don't know at this point. I never thought I would be that parent that will have to go no contact with my daughter. But I don't know if I can stomach being around her. I can't trust her and she's not remorseful whatsoever about what happened. A part of me wants to try to make it work for the sake of Leah because she asked yesterday if she ruined our family. And that broke my heart. Leah loves and looks up to Maya, and I don't think she can comprehend at this time that Maya also failed her. I'm just stuck, or tell me if I'm wrong for not understanding Maya. I'm sorry for the not so happy update. So I should say what happened that morning at this point. I come home at 8:30ish am from work and my house was trashed and a couple of Maya's friends were still there. I of course argued with Maya for a bit about throwing a party, and then I go check on Leah and she wasn't in her room, but her sheets were bloody, so I thought maybe it was time of the month and that she was showering or sleeping in my bed. But when I checked my room I did not see her. I started calling Leah and her phone did ring and I heard it come from my closet. It's a walk-in, and I see her wrapped in a blanket like a cocoon. I then shake her to wake up and she wasn't waking up, and I then try to unwrap, and that's when I noticed her scalp bleeding and I saw abrasions around her neck. So I started screaming, "Someone call 911," and Leah starts waking up in the ambulance and she starts crying, and the first thing she told me is Maya's friend raped her and that she can't get up because she's in so much pain. When the police and ambulance show up, and I honestly didn't care about Maya in that moment. All I told her was to be honest with the police and she should be fine. I didn't know what I know now at this point. They take her to precinct and the cops interrogated her, and after getting a medical report for what happened to Leah, they decided to charge her with child endangerment. I did not see Maya's reaction to when they told her about what happened to Leah. But when she saw Leah once she got out of jail, she gave her a big hug, and I thought it was a sweet moment. The only red flag that stands out to me from that time is, Maya did not cooperate fully about giving teen names because she said she forgot. Luckily, DNA results from the crime scene and on Leah, which all 4 of Leah's rapists were already in the system for other crimes. One even being on probation, so they were easy to find, and it was dominoes effect after that. So my oldest is my son. He got married a month before everything went down, and I didn't want to drag him in too much about Maya, because I want him to enjoy the newlywed phase with his wife. Him and his wife are very supportive, and his wife takes Leah all the time for sleepovers or just to get her out of the house. I know I'm probably not alone with dealing with this, but my daughter, F14, has been so extremely depressed, rightfully so. She went through 2 traumatic events in the span of 4 years at her young age. She was sexually assaulted back in December, and she lost her dad 4 years ago. I just remember when I was 14 I felt like the world was against me, and I had both of my parents on my side, and I never been through an assault, so I can't comprehend what she's going through right now. This morning I overheard her crying in the bathroom, and I asked her if she was fine, and she quickly said she's okay. It just makes me feel so helpless as her mom that I can't help her or take away any of that pain she's feeling. I can't even fully relate to her, because I haven't been sexually assaulted before and both my parents are still alive. So I feel like I'm a horrible mom because I can't guide her and help her with the situation at hand. I feel like as a mom I should have all the answers, and I don't. I just know in her head every time I try to comfort her she thinks, what is this woman talking about, because I feel like I don't know what I'm talking about 99.9% of the time. So any other moms that can relate, please drop some helpful tips. I have 3 kids, M24, F18, and F14. My late husband died very unexpectedly 4 years ago due to COVID. He didn't have a will, but we had a life insurance policy that provided a $360,000 DH benefit. As his spouse, I received the full amount. I decided to divide the money 4 ways. I would get $120,000, and each of my 3 kids would get $80,000. At the time, my daughters were both minors, so I told them they could access their full amount when they turned 18. However, if they ever wanted to do something pricey, I would allow them to use some of their share. Most of their needs were taken care of by me. My son was over 18, so I gave him his share right away. This arrangement was a verbal agreement, and I intended to follow through with it fully. Recently, however, my middle daughter, we will call her Maya, was arrested in December for child endangerment because she severely neglected her little sister, leading to something awful happening under her care. She had to use some of her $80,000 to pay for lawyer and court fees, which left her with about $65,000. Fast forward to today, and my youngest daughter is still struggling significantly. During her checkups, she scores very low on mental health evaluations and is on a high dosage of antidepressants. She often jokes that if she were to tell us or the doctors how she truly feels, she would be put in a psych ward. Maya no longer lives with us, as I felt her presence was doing more harm than good to her sister. She's staying with my parents for now, but has been begging me to give her the money I promised after she graduated. I've been hesitant to do so. My sister, who is familiar with the situation, believes Maya doesn't deserve the money and that I should use it to stay home longer with my youngest, who will be alone during the day once I return to work soon. With my youngest declining mental health and school being out, I'm very worried about her. Maya is about to go off to college, and I know most of the money would go toward that. However, I'm still very angry with Maya for the pain she caused her sister. I'm having a hard time making this decision. So, would if I kept her inheritance? Edit, I didn't expect many comments, but I reading through all them, to the ones that are asking what would husband say if he was here. I honestly don't know, that's why I'm conflicted. A part of me want to think he would honestly say for me to give Maya the money so she go to college, because college was important to him. But also another part of me knows if he heard the details about what happened to Leah he would be way brutal than I am and disown her permanently, so it's hard to make a call on what would he want when I don't know. Update 2. My daughter Leah, F14, has been having a tough time with the aftermath of her rape last December. This past week has been particularly the worst for us. It started last Tuesday when a sheriff and another official visited our home. They informed us that one of Leah's rapists, the one who filmed the assault, had shared the video within a group, and now it's circulating on parts of the dark web. The video was filmed in Leah's room. It contained identifiable objects that revealed where she went to school. I was devastated upon hearing this news. Leah's reaction surprised me. She didn't cry or show much emotion. Instead, she simply shrugged and said, "I figured," before just sitting there in silence. The officials reassured us that it's uncommon for perpetrators to surface in such cases, but they felt obligated to inform us for safety reasons. After they left, Leah resumed acting as if nothing had happened, almost overly cheerful. I attempted to discuss it with her several times, but she avoided the topic. This behavior persisted throughout the week until she unexpectedly revealed that she had written a victim impact statement and wanted to read it herself in court, rather than allowing the prosecutor to do so. She felt that since there was no trial, only the charges against the rapist were known, not the details of what she endured. Her statement is a detailed account of that horrific night, but she has yet to read it to me in its entirety because she breaks down in tears every time she tries. That moment was the only time I saw her express emotion all week, until Saturday night. That evening, Leah appeared unusually cheerful again and mentioned going to bed early around 8 p.m. I didn't think much of it until I received a call from one of Leah's closest friends' mother. She was concerned because Leah's last message to her daughter was a note expressing love and asking her to check on her. I rushed to Leah's room and found she had attempted to overdose on Z-Quil. As a nurse, I knew she would recover, but seeing her wake up in the hospital was heartbreaking. She screamed, "Why couldn't you just let me die? I want to die, Mom. I'm tired of feeling their hands on me. I want it to stop. Please let me die." They had to sedate her to calm her down. Following this, Leah was placed under a 72-hour psychiatric hold and subsequently transferred to a mental health facility with peers her age. The staff recommended extending her stay beyond the initial hold, but Leah has been struggling, especially with a male staff member, possibly a psychiatrist, who she says is asking invasive questions about her sexuality, causing discomfort. Staff members informed me she isn't participating in group activities and appears standoffish. They even proposed restricting her ability to contact me as a consequence, though I requested they hold off on implementing such measures. I'm uncertain if the current inpatient setting is suitable, given Leah's apparent difficulty adjusting. Her plea for her to die continues to haunt me. It's a thought I can't shake. Leah's best friend shared additional details Leah had kept from me. There's a hurtful rumor circulating that Leah let a train be ran on her, leading to her involving the police out of embarrassment. Children can be so incredibly cruel. As far as my other daughter Maya, F18, I haven't spoken to her in 2 weeks. But I did recently discover why Leah feels indebted to her. 2 years ago, I found inappropriate messages on Leah's phone between her and Maya's ex-boyfriend. He expressed love for Leah, and also compared her to Maya. He told her she was way prettier than Maya and he liked she was her virgin. When I told Maya, she was furious and broke up with him, but she believed Leah had betrayed her by engaging with her boyfriend. Even though Leah was 12 at the time and her boyfriend was 17. Maya still avoided Leah for 3 months afterward, and despite Leah's efforts to apologize, Maya still holds a grudge. Leah blames herself for damaging their relationship because of this incident. I'm sharing this to get this off my chest. I've kept these struggles within our family to protect my daughters. I'm exhausted, constantly dealing with new challenges, and unsure how to mend them. Now, I find myself in the difficult position of deciding whether Leah is mentally prepared to speak at her rapist's sentencing. I fear she'll resent me for this decision, but I question if she's in a stable enough state to handle a potential traumatic event. Because these boys actually have character witnesses. Update 3. More information on the psych, so I talked to Leah further about what the psych said to her make her uncomfortable. She told me when I left they made her sit down with him one-on-one. To basically debrief why she was there and what's causing her to have these thoughts, and she opened up to him and told her about the rape. However, he asked her if this was her only sexual experience and she told him yes. But he kept questioning her like he didn't believe it was her only experience and saying to her that he won't tell me if it wasn't that she can say it, and she kept having tell him no, that was her only experience. Then he asked about her sexuality, if she's still attracted to men, and she just told him that she doesn't think about relationships right now. She just said that she felt weird about him asking a lot of questions about her sex life. When it was just those two alone in a room with the door closed. I'm not gonna accuse the psych of being a creep, because maybe he was simply doing his job, but I feel like he should have known to have a female staff ask her those questions. Or just have a woman present. He had have seen her chart before he seen her. Update 4. I'm back with a much anticipated update. This is a long one, so TLDR at the bottom. A lot has happened, but I want to start with the positive. Leah started therapy after the sentencing, and she's been speaking positively about it. She said it was shocking that she didn't have to talk about the assault with her therapist, which was refreshing. Her therapist also suggested some EMDR sessions, with her first one scheduled for next week. Her general doctor also cleared her to start cheer again if she wanted to and recommended she start birth control. I'm unsure about that because I know how much of a toll it can have on mental health, and I don't want to ruin any progress. We also moved into our new rental, and I let Leah get a kitten. That's her baby currently. I barely see the cat since we got it because she always has her. We also had to trash the majority of Leah's furniture to help her healing process. I was trying to give her the Pinterest room of her dreams, but she doesn't like the stuff she used to and wants barely any color, so it's a work in progress. She also has a boyfriend now. He asked her out on the 4th. He's age appropriate, and I know the kid because I grew up with his dad, so I know he comes from a good family. The only thing I'm worried about is that it seems like she might be becoming codependent on him. If he's not at my house, they're on FaceTime together, and every time we go out, she wants him to tag along. It's been like this since before he asked her out. I'd say it's been like this since Maya moved out. But I'm not too worried because I think it's only like this now because it's summer and a new relationship. On the surface, she is content for the moment. In my last post, I received a lot of negative messages because I wasn't doing things fast enough or wasn't telling my son all the details. I almost didn't want to make this post, but I want a preference that I know my children, and they know me. I'm a person who values timing. Before I said anything to my other kids, I wanted to make sure I had facts, not assumptions. I wanted to schedule a meeting with the detective who interrogated Maya to tell him everything, so I knew in my heart I tried my best to hold my daughter accountable for her actions. When I met with the detective, he told me he did investigate Maya, but there wasn't enough evidence. Even with everything I told him, it's not enough to indict her, so he can only charge her with child endangerment for leaving a minor she was watching in a house with a registered sex offender. However, he validated everything I thought and reassured me. He also told me that it's estimated that Leah's attack lasted close to 2 hours, during which 2 of the defendants had enough time to rape her twice, and Maya never went upstairs to check nor showed any concern while being questioned, which triggered him to arrest her. He also said he investigated a lot of sex crimes, but this case disturbed him because there were so many bystanders knew something bad might be happening but didn't intervene. Everyone failed Leah, not just Maya, and he advised me to keep that in mind. I met with my son and his wife before the sentencing. He was more disappointed than upset. He felt it in his gut but thought Maya wouldn't do it intentionally. My son and Dill told me they always felt Maya was jealous or threatened by Leah. My son noticed it when Leah got her braces off and started growing into her face, attracting Maya's friends to talk to her more because I guess she's considered the nice sister among those two. My Dill said she witnessed it firsthand during the bridesmaid dress fitting. Maya refused to compliment Leah but critiqued her instead. When my Dill told Maya that Leah would unlock so much potential once she realized her beauty and ignored her bullies, Maya said, "I know, that's why I have to humble her." My Dill thought it was weird but didn't think much of it until now. They also told me that Maya blocked them as soon as I threw her out, and now they know why. The sentencing wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Leah said she initially thought it was boring. The character witnesses for the rapists were, of course, their moms and dads. One mom said that this was an awful night and that we need to stop spreading more hurt. One dad said his son was sexually abused at Leah's age and that Leah must have triggered that in him. Leah wasn't fazed by this. She told me she ignored them, but I could tell it bothered her. Leah decided to do a video and read her victim impact statement, and I was so extremely proud of her. All 4 rapists apologized to Leah in their statements to the judge, but she didn't look at them. She heard them and felt that only one was genuinely sorry, the others gave robotic responses. 2 of the rapists were sentenced to 10 years but could get out as soon as 6 years. The one who recorded it got 12 years because of his prior convictions, and the prosecutor told me he might be in there for 20 plus years due to a separate CP charge. Maya's friend, the one Leah fears the most, got 14 years, with the judge noting he should serve the full term and not be paroled because he got in trouble for doing something similar in the past. Leah was okay with their sentencing, though she wished they all got 14 years. She will be notified if they get out early or if there are any parole hearings. Maya was there according to my son, but she stayed way in the back and immediately left after the court was adjourned. Some of the rapists' families tried to talk and apologize to Leah directly, which was the only thing that freaked her out. Other than that, I think she was fine. While we were driving back home, we started debriefing everything, and I tried to explain the process of what's going to happen next. When we got home, Leah told me it was weird that one of the rapists referred to Maya as his friend because there was no way Maya would be friends with someone like that. My face turned white when she said this. I knew it was time to tell her, so I said, "I've been meaning to tell you this. There are many reasons why I'm upset with your sister." She was still confused, so I explained that Maya got arrested for leaving the house, not for throwing the party. She didn't care about that. She was just like, "Oh, okay." Then I said he wasn't lying in court, he was your sister's friend, and Maya went behind your back that night to try and set you guys up. That's when I saw the moment of realization happen. Leah thought I was lying at first, but when I started to further explain, it was like watching someone's heart break before my eyes. She cut me off and said, "I don't believe you. Maya would never be friends with someone that horrible." I just said she might not have been best friends with him, but she did have some form of a relationship with him. Leah responded, "Mom, that is really bad if that's true. No one understands how mean he was to me. All day, I had to sit in the courtroom hearing he was such a good person when it's not true. Why doesn't no one believe that?" I started apologizing to her at this point, and she pulled out her phone and called Maya. Maya answered with a very cheerful hello, and Leah got straight to the point, asking if she was ever friends with her rapist. I honestly thought Maya was going to lie, but she said she was before it happened. Leah then asked if she was trying to get her to date him, and Maya told the truth and said yes. Leah hung up on her before Maya tried to explain herself, and Leah started shaking really badly while typing on her phone. I realized now she was blocking Maya on everything. After she was done, she looked up at me with tears in her eyes and said, "Mom, why does she hate me so much? What did I ever do to her? I've been trying to be her friend, and she still hates me. Why?" We cried together for the rest of the day honestly. The next day, Leah told me she's done with Maya and wants nothing to do with her for a while. She said that after she slept on it, she felt more mad than sad. She opened up and told me how Maya made her feel so guilty, saying she ruined her senior year and blamed herself for what happened by not being more careful and not locking the door. But to now find out that she did lock the door and Maya had much more control of the situation than she led Leah to believe makes her so upset. Then she told me that Maya has a drug problem with Adderall and painkillers, which she had sworn to keep secret because Maya promised she was quitting. I asked her when the drug addiction started, and Leah said she didn't know, but she caught her stealing her Concerta in April 2023. That's when Maya confessed to the drug issue. Leah also believes one of her rapists was Maya's dealer, as he used to come to the house at night when I was working. Leah now thinks that Maya traded her for more drugs and never quit as she promised, which hurts her deeply. She also recounted that during the attack, her rapist said that if she didn't cooperate, they would hurt Maya, which makes her feel worse because she knows Maya wouldn't do the same for her. That was the last time we really talked about Maya, and that was a couple of weeks ago, but I know that it really is taking a toll on her. So that's why I splurge and let her get a kitten. Maya doesn't know our new address but has tried to reach out to Leah numerous times using text-free numbers. Leah is not interested whatsoever. She's no longer with my parents. My mill, with whom I've never gotten along, has taken Maya in, paying for her college and buying her a new car just to spite me. I wish I were making this up, but she posted it on Facebook. The messed up part is that my mill knows about what happened to Leah and everything Maya did but simply doesn't care. She thinks Maya is as much a victim as Leah and even called Leah to guilt trip her, using their dad as leverage, saying, "Your dad would hate to see you fight and hold a grudge against your sister over a mistake." That's when I stopped talking to her and told Leah not to respond to her anymore. I'm extremely close to filing a civil lawsuit on behalf of Leah against Maya since my mill wants to undermine my parenting and go against and hurt her other granddaughter by financing Maya's life. However, my therapist doesn't think that will help me or Leah heal. But I'm so frustrated with that situation. I'm sorry there isn't a better conclusion, other than that I lost 3 people in the span of 4 years, and I'm not doing well. I'm really depressed. I lost the love of my life and both of my daughters. I still mourn the loss of my little girl. She will never be the same, and I can't be around my other daughter because I believe she's a deeply flawed, dangerous person, and I blame myself for not seeing it in time. I worry about anyone she comes across in her adult life.